This person's report, The Big Book of Renewable Tech, features 108 case studies, an enormous number compared to this other study, Powering Tomorrow, which only includes 12. It looks like they're continuing with the big report, covering both early innovations and modern breakthroughs. The wide technological range of the first person, the big person's publication, may make it seem more comprehensive than Powering Tomorrow. So while this one overall ends up not being that bad, I still think it's an important, factor of following our author's tone. So as soon as I see it might make it seem more comprehensive, with 100% certainty, we can predict that they're going to contrast. Of course, we would think the bigger 108 publication is going to be more comprehensive. But, maybe it's more surface level, whereas the one with 12 is more in depth, or maybe it has better publications inside of it, right? So again, we predicted, but Powering Tomorrow, the one with 12, its tighter focus and more analytical depth make it more authoritative. It makes it more likely that you should pick up the one with 12 than the one with 108 because it just does more in total, right? So they want to know what the function of the underlined portion does, right? It sets us up for like an assumption. Of course, we would assume it's the bigger one's better, but it does lead us into a contrast, which they say, the one with less actually does more. So in A, I see it helps clarify why two analysts might differ in determining which developments are actual renewable innovations. That's way too specific. They don't actually get into the innovations or the inventions. In B, it supports the idea that these people should be viewed as essential innovators. They also don't go into the actual people and what they did, so it can't be B. In C, it indicates a reasonable interpretation of a renewable energy report. We would reasonably assume the 108 study does much more than the 12, but it can nonetheless be challenged on valid grounds. Because it is less in depth, because it's more broad, it's not actually as comprehensive. So C matches it perfectly. And finally, D, it implies that newer reports versus the older or the earlier ones, that's not what they were saying. They didn't say one was better than the other. It's just going to be C here.